Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today we're gonna be making a keto shepherd's pie. So I don't know if you guys grew up eating this, if it's just like a favorite or you've never tried it, but trust me, it's super delicious. It tastes like the real deal, and I'm gonna show you how simple it is to make. So I'm gonna go over all the ingredients, but before we get started, because this does take a little more time, this is going to be our potato substitute, which we're actually using turnips. I've already peeled and obviously diced it up into, let me show you the size just so that you know more or less, it helps the cooking process because this is actually going to get, we're gonna throw this into the food processor, but we cut it just like little potatoes. And so I'm gonna show you how easy it is. So right now, let's go to the stove. We're gonna actually boil this and we're gonna add a little bit of salt to give it some flavor, but let me show you how we do this. Okay, so now we have our pot, we have our water, and we're gonna throw in our turnips, which is, like I said, it's our potato substitute. And you just wanna make sure that the water is covering the turnips, okay? Okay, and just so you guys know, these are 3 medium to large turnips. Okay, so now we're gonna let this boil until tender. So we're just gonna, I would say about 10 minutes, but we'll come back, we'll check it, and we'll see how long it actually takes. While our turnips, our potatoes are boiling, we're gonna get our meat prepared. And yeah, let me walk you through this really quickly. Here we have 2 pounds of ground beef. Okay, and now we're going to put in all of our spices. Okay, so we're gonna start with a ½ teaspoon of thyme. Put in. Then we have a ½ teaspoon of some rosemary, dried rosemary. 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of ground pepper. Throw that on top. We're just gonna mix everything in right now. Here we have 2 teaspoons of garlic. So this is just some minced garlic. You could use fresh as well. Okay, then we have 1 teaspoon of some Worcestershire sauce. Pour that on top. And we have our bone broth. So here we have ½ cup of bone broth. And then we have our white wine. So this is a 1/4 cup of white cooking wine, and you can use red as well. Now we're just going to mix everything together, and I'm gonna show you our next step. I put all the ingredients here so that you guys can see me clearly, but you can totally do it while you're cooking your ground beef, okay? So don't think you have to pour it into a bowl like this. I just do it so that you guys can see everything that I put in. But now that it's mixed together, let's go ahead and so now let's move over to our stove, and we're going to saute our onions and butter. So let's go. So we're gonna start off with 4 tablespoons of butter. And here we have a cup of diced onion. Okay, so at this point we've sauteed for about a minute. Now let's go ahead and add our meat. Okay. I'm gonna mix all this together. Okay, so our little turnips are nice and boiled. I let them cool a little so that, I didn't burn my hands right here, but I'm gonna pour it all out. Okay, so here what we're gonna do is we have the pan on medium heat, and we're gonna put our turnips in here to help reduce the moisture because they do absorb and retain a lot of moisture. So now we're gonna try to reduce that in here. Okay, so as you can see, it's releasing a lot of water. So as you guys can see, we are getting a lot of the moisture out. And the reason why you wanna do this is because you'll end up with really watery, like a mashed potato or, mashed potato. So you don't want that. You want it to have the consistency of real potatoes. Okay, so first we're gonna start off by putting in our potatoes or our turnips, right? That are potato substitutes. So you're gonna put that right in. And now we're gonna start off with, so I have ½ cup of heavy cream here, and we're gonna do a little at a time just to, I don't wanna use more than I have to. So you kinda wanna eyeball it to your desired consistency. And we have a 1/4 cup of butter, which is 4 tablespoons. And this is just softened butter, but it doesn't matter because it's gonna go in with everything else. And then we're gonna just do a little salt and pepper to taste. Okay, and now this is my first time using this little food processor. Okay, let's turn it on. Okay, so we're gonna, I'm just scraping the edges and we're gonna go in again because we want it to be super smooth, okay? I'm just adding a little pepper because I love pepper. And here, let's mix it a little. But yeah, it's nice and smooth, as you can see. Silky, ay. So you guys see how it's nice and smooth and silky? That's the texture you're looking for, okay? Okay, so just wanted to show you, we only used a half, so 1/4 cup of heavy cream. I didn't need the other half. Okay, so now our meat's done. We are going to pull out our 2 little bay leaves because you don't want to bite into them. Okay, it's released its flavor. Now let's move on. So we're gonna grab our ground beef. What you want to, try to drain the juice, and we're gonna put it right into our baking dish, okay? So trust me, this is gonna be nice and moist. Remember that our potato substitute also has a lot of moisture in it, so you don't need the moisture from the meat. Okay, so we're just going to put it all in here. I'm actually making 2 separate ones, but if you have like 1 big baking dish, you can do that as well. So we're just going to fill our plate or our baking dish, and then we're going to top it. Okay, so now we're going to get our turnip mash. And if you guys don't have turnips or don't like them, you can use cauliflower for sure. Okay, so then you just spread it. Oh my gosh, look at what we're making. So this is one of my favorite things to make during St. Patty's. Like, it's almost like during March. This is like one of those recipes that I always like to make. Okay, so at this point, we're all done. Make sure that your oven is preheated to 400 degrees. And now we're gonna bake this little guy. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Let's go. Okay, so 400 degrees at 25 to 30 minutes. So I will show you what it looks like in about 25 minutes. We've turned off the oven. Now here is our shepherd's pie. I can't wait to dig in. All right, guys, so now for my favorite part, which is the taste test. And this here is, obviously this top part is our mashed potatoes, but made with our turnips, so it is low carb and keto friendly. I did add a little cayenne pepper on top because, I wanted a little spice, but look at that big bite. Yum. It's delicious. So our mashed potato is very creamy, it's smooth, it's silky. Then you have your ground beef that's perfectly seasoned. Our little veggies, honestly, this is the perfect combination. You don't even have to eat it with anything else. You can serve this in a bowl, in a plate, just like so. Serve yourself a good amount and you're gonna be nice and full because you have your fats and your proteins and your veggies. So this is like a perfect meal in one. Delicious. I cannot wait for you guys to try it. You're gonna love this. All right, guys, well, thank you so much for joining me on this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. It's super simple, totally worth making. It's one of those things where you kind of throw everything in a pot or everything in a baking dish, bake it, and then you have either meal prep for the week, for the fam. It's just a really easy dish and it's great for St. Patty's Day. So I hope you guys really enjoy it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, turn your post notifications on so you don't miss any of my future videos. And if you still want a little more of me, then make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Low Carb Love. And I have my blog, which is my website now, where you can have all these recipes and exclusive recipes that we don't have on the YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out at lowcarblove.com, and I'll link everything down below for you guys. But again, thank you for joining me. I love you so much, and I will see you on the next video. Mwah.